can't seem to get this thing to make a trans-dimensional cross-game world phone call, which is a shame because there's somebody I could really do with talking to you on the phone at the moment for some advice. Hello and welcome to part 11 of the Milan mission. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have our final group game in the Champions League away against VILLAREAL, and it's all going a little bit wrong, just a little bit. We're on a bit of a poor run of form. We've only won once in the last 5 games, and that was 5 games ago, which was the only time since August that we've scored more than once in a game. We beat Palermo 3-1. Everyone was happy. We thought we'd turn the corner. Then we went and lost to Benfica in the Champions League, drew a couple of Serie A games that we should have won, and then drew at home in the Champions League against what you would expect to be the weakest team in the group. So we're struggling a little bit in both competitions. In Serie A, 13 games in, we're still only 2 points off of Champions League qualification, but that's qualification to the qualifying round. We've actually dropped 6 points back off of automatic through to the group stages, and we're 10 points behind Juventus at the top of the league after only 13 games. Any hopes of winning the league this season are long gone, and we've got a battle on our hands to get back into the Champions League again. And Champions League isn't looking much better. After being in quite a dominant position at the halfway point, we've picked up only 1 point in the last 2 games. So we're level on points with Benfica and Villarreal at the top of the group, but unfortunately have a worse goal difference. I guess that's how they do it in the Champions League. So at the moment we're in a situation where, who do we play? Do we play one of them two? Let's hope we play one of them two. We play Villarreal, so we've got to win. We have to beat them to go through, unless Leverkusen, no, even if Leverkusen beat Benfica, even if that's a draw, we just have to win. We're in a must-win game against Villarreal, which is tricky because it's away from home and we're not scoring goals at the moment. So, yeah, that's going to be fun, isn't it? But first, we need to try and get back to winning ways in Serie A. So the way to do that is to go full-on Italian defensive. We're still not scoring goals, so we're going for Niang up front again because Bacca's just not being Bacca at the moment. So this is our team. Donnarumma in goal, a back four of Lazar, Gomez, Zapata and Makey, with Topol and Poli in front of the back four. Camacho's not played well since we signed him. He's also struggling a little bit for fitness, so we're saving him for the Champions League game. Just because I don't think he offers anything that these two don't really. He might have been a bit of a boo-boo bringing him in. Bertolacci is the one and only midfield player with Bonaventura and Honda either side of Niang. We've got Bacca and Luis Adriano on the bench to come on if needed, but neither of them are likely to be game changers at the moment. In fact, it doesn't even look like Luis Adriano is on the bench. He must have picked up a knock. I lose track of who's fit and who's not when you've got 400 substitutes each game. So we're using our defensive system today because Lazio are a good side and we are not. So we're hoping to do that Italian thing of soak up loads of pressure, go and hit them on the break and pull off a mugging. But knowing our luck, it will be a 0-0 or we'll lose 1-0 ourselves. And I mean, we're just falling out of touch. I'm hoping Fiorentina are just there temporarily and they're just having a really purple patch of form, and they'll start to drop off, because if they keep pace with Juventus the way they have done so far, automatic Champions League qualification just isn't going to be possible. If it was Inter who were on that many points, I'd already be writing that off. Niang with a beautiful finish. Hopefully that's the nicker goal. It's only his second of the season. We've nicked our early goal, and hopefully that means we can just sort of sit back, soak up the pressure, not concede now. But it does rely on Donnarumma having a good game, which he doesn't tend to do when you lot are watching. He's great when you're not here, but I think he feels the pressure because you lot were the ones chanting and cheering for me to bring him into the side. He obviously feels a little bit nervous when you're around. Niang beating his man again. Lazar on his wrong foot, trying to get that round onto the left foot for a cross. He can't. Why is Makey all the way over there? We seem to be playing, and now he's all. I mean, Makey is everywhere on the pitch. This is remarkable. Told you he was good. Now he's all the way. I mean, he's moved from one side of the pitch to the other. There finds Honda. Honda's cross can't make it to Niang, but now finds Bertolacci. What a shot! And it bounces back off of the frame of the goal. And we're actually playing quite well at the moment. We've had more possession. We've had loads more shots because Lazio haven't had one yet. We've only had one that's on target, but we did score it, so that's handy. This is all right at the moment. What we hope for now is slip-ups from Fiorentina and Roma, when they play tomorrow, and it all starts to look a little bit better than it did at the start of the episode. Bertolacci's made it 2-0. That's only the third time this season we've scored more than one goal in a match. I'm only 25 minutes in. If we get to a third goal, that's only the second time this season we'll have done that. And, you know, if we win 4-0, everything is, we'll hopefully have saved a few goals for Villarreal as well, because as much as we want to win Serie A at some point, the goal of this save all along is become a European dominant force again. We want to go and win the Champions League. I'm not that bothered if we win the Champions League a couple of times over the next 5 years and don't win the league at any point. That's success as far as I'm concerned. According to the terms of this save, whether the board will see it that way and will be allowed to do it, I don't know, because they kind of wanted to push for a Serie A win this year, and I had to very much explain to them that we're rubbish and that ain't going to happen. Oh, there you go. Gomez is in. Honda now already on a yellow card, but that's a nice ball to Niang, who has the pace to chase that, but for some reason the highlight just stopped. I guess he didn't get there. Bonaventura now, what can he do? Finds Polly, out to Niang. Niang has got no one to support him, but somehow finds Honda, who, you know, I guess he counts as no one. Now, out to Makey. There you go. Makey can whip across in now. He does. Finds Bonaventura. It drops to Bertolacci, and we're playing really well. I mean, this... Do we go and take this system to Villarreal in a must-win game? Dare we go there and defend? Because it's not must-win. They just have to draw. If they draw, they're through. Because they finish above us then, and all they have to do is finish above us to get through, I think. Actually, no. If Bayer Leverkusen beat Benfica, then and we draw with Villarreal, those two both go through, I think. Oh, it's so complicated. What a complicated group. You lot were telling me it looked like a hard group. I thought it looked easy compared. I mean, we avoided any massive teams, but the problem we've got ourselves into is there's 4 teams who are pretty much evenly matched, and we're all capable of beating each other. And it's an unpredictable group. No one in our group's going to go on to the semi-finals even, let alone threaten to win it. But it's a competitive group, which I suppose is very fun to watch. Not so much fun to play in. Right, let's get Sosa on for him. And Topol can come off, and we'll bring Maori on. In fact, I don't want to bring Sosa on. I'm going to bring Bakker on, and while we're in good form, let's try and nab a couple of goals, or at least get him a goal. Stick Niang out wide. We'll still bring Maori on for Topol and do that. There we go. Splendid. I should have put Camacho on, actually. I forgot Maori was playing as one of the holding midfield players. I had it in my head we were only playing with one, so hopefully that's not going to come back and cause a problem. Maui doesn't play particularly well there, but he is capable of doing it, so, you know, let's not worry too much. If we concede a goal now, we bring on Camacho for whoever and bring Maori for... there you go, see, Camacho probably needs to come on, because if we throw away a dominant position in this game because I've made a silly substitution, I mean, that's got nothing to do with who's playing as the holding midfield player. It's just a good cross. Makey could have perhaps done a little bit better to stop the cross coming in. He's got his head on his hands, bless his cotton socks. We just got to hold on. We're capable of holding on. We're good enough to do that. Right, we bring off Bertolacci, and this time Camacho does come on, and we do that. There you go. Just shore things up a little bit. Splendid. 10 minutes. Please hold on. I don't want this to drift back into being another pesky draw, because although we've not scored 2 goals very often this year, it's very, very rare that we've conceded 2 goals as well. So you'd like to think we'll be able to hold on, but Lazio are attacking here, and Zapata heads it clear. Niang's got it now. Come on, we're holding on to the ball. That's all we need to do. Honda, just run it out to the corner flag. It doesn't matter. We've beaten Lazio 2-1. We're back up to 3rd place in the league, and if Fiorentina do manage to mess up tomorrow, the league looks a whole lot better. Hopefully we can go and do a similar job in the Champions League now. That'd be nice. So our team for our must-win game in the Champions League, we're going full Italian. Same system that we used against Lazio. The only change I've made is we've gone counter-attacking rather than defensive, just because I want to just remind them, you know, this one really does need to be a win. I don't know if it makes any difference, but why not, eh? The only change we've made, Romagnoli comes back in for Zapata. He was on holiday because he was ever so tired. So he's come back into the side for Zapata, fully fit and fresh and lovely. Camacho comes back into the holding midfield role, and Mauri comes in to central midfield. Plus, Bakker comes back in for Niang up front. So I say the only changes. We made quite a few changes. We rested a few players at the weekend to make sure they were ready for this game. I don't know if bringing Baka back in is the right move, though, because Niang scored and Baka hasn't been scoring. But surely, in a game as big as this has got to be Baka's opportunity to come back into form and say, here you go, here I am. So there you go, he's captain as well. Because, of course, we made him vice-captain at the start of the season. Abati was captain, but Abati doesn't play anymore because we've got Makey and he's awesome. So Baka is effectively captain at the moment. Oh, there you go. Look, whatever's happened in the other game, Benfica have gone ahead of Bayer Leverkusen. I don't know how that puts us ahead of Villarreal. Is it done on head-to-head? Did we beat Villarreal before? Because that puts a whole different spin on things. If we can get away with a draw, we might have to switch to defensive. Do we switch to defensive? We do if we score here. Romagnoli, I mean, it's cleared off the line there. That was a clear-cut chance for Romagnoli. We've got another corner, though. Honda crosses in again. I feel like this is probably our best chance to score, getting a corner and getting one of our big lads up there to knock it in. Lazar with a beautiful cross, but it's a little bit too long for Baka, who can't quite get there. I'm tempted to switch to defensive at half-time because it looks like a draw is going to be enough after all. See, I know how the Champions League works. Honest. I mean, we're playing well again. So, yeah, we're going defensive. Hopefully that's not going to be a complete disaster. But it worked against Lazio. And Lazio and Villarreal, they must be roughly equivalent standard, maybe. I don't know. Where did Lazio finish in the league last year? Probably lower in a poorer league. So, actually, Villarreal are a better team. So we'll defend and hopefully not concede. And if we don't concede, we're through to the next round. If we do manage to nick a goal on the break, hurrah, we properly secure a spot in the next round. It looks like Leverkusen are out of it because Benfica are winning there. Benfica are bottom of the group at the halfway stage and they've done 3 back-to-back wins to storm to the top of the group. That's quite a turnaround. Well played, Benfica. I don't know what our head-to-head with them is. I know they've beaten us, but I presume we beat them as well. How much did we beat them by, though? Could we go top of the group if we grab a goal here? Camacho to Mauri. Mauri out to Bonaventura. Baka is in, and what on earth was that? That says it all about the form that Carlos Baka is in. That was our second clear-cut chance of the game, and he missed the goal by an absolute mile. He is done. Niang, on you come. I mean, I can't live in that world where players can get away with doing that. It was just awful. Kuka, I don't know how you even say that. He's going to come on. And I mean, I guess he stays as inside forward. I rarely play him, but why not? Usually I bring Suso on, but he's not on the bench because we haven't got our 400 substitutes that we used to. Makey with the cross. Kuka heads it on, but there's no one there to pick up the flick on. This is a bit of a problem. Villarreal will break. Luckily, they decide to just completely waste it, and we survive a little bit longer. We've just got to hold on for 10 more minutes now. It's such a weird situation to be in, not trying to win the game, just trying to avoid defeat. I don't care for it. We're going to bring on Bertolacci for Mauri, just because, you know, Bertolacci's good, isn't he? So let's get him on. It's all getting a bit nervy now. It feels so wrong playing defensively in a game like this, but it might just get us through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League, which would be amazing for our first season back in it. And looks like Villarreal are going down to 10 men, so that surely makes it that little bit harder for them to rob us at the last minute. I mean, we have been the better team. If they score here, it's vile. They don't. We've got the draw, and I think that's enough, unless that little table has been lying all the way through. It hasn't been. There you go. We've finished second in our group. We've won a game in Serie A, gone back into a Champions League position in there, and we've qualified from our group. We've had a good episode for the first time this season. Everything's on the up. We're going to go and win the Champions League now. You mark my words. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.